In the US, Tzu Chi's Vision Mobile Clinic provides free consultations for children from impoverished families. In Ecuador, Tzu Chi volunteers held the 7th food distribution, helping 1,500 households. Selamat datang ke Headline, saya Simon Gan. Terima kasih menyertai sesi berita kita. In the United States, Tzu Chi's Vision Mobile Clinic once again drove into the school district of Southern El Monte in California to provide free consultations from the children from impoverished families. Take a look.
Okay, if it feels weird, you jumping just a bit. Or do one of this until it goes away. Is it gone? Not yet. Keep going. Keep going. Is it gone? A little bit. It's working.
After 1 year, Tzu Chi's Vision Mobile Clinic drove into the school district in Southern El Monte again to check the eyesight of the children from kindergarten to elementary school.
Good job.
The kids in the school district here are relatively disadvantaged, so we reach out to help them. They haven't checked their vision for a year. Everyone may be afraid to have an eye exam. For some of the kids, their glasses may be broken or their vision get worse because they've been watching on a computer for a long time.
The pandemic has changed the way of learning, and it has also made it difficult to seek medical treatment for vision correction. And for the impoverished families, glasses have become a luxury item.
I broke my glasses. I need some new ones, and thank you for my glasses.
They're really not taking anybody in that much, because of the whole COVID. So the wait period is very long, in order for me to take him to go get his glasses. I want to thank you guys for this program.
It can change their desire to learn and want to stay in school and want to pursue higher education or anything like that. So any day you help their vision, it will make a very long-lasting impact on their entire life.
With new glasses to safeguard children's eyes, their learning path becomes clearer and brighter.
In Keelung, 70-year-old Uncle Wang lives alone. On New Year's Eve, the roof above his living room collapsed. Fortunately, he was not hurt, but he was unable to repair it. After learning about his situation, 25 Tzu Chi volunteers mobilized to remove the loose roof tiles and assist with the cleaning. Here's more.
The roof almost collapsed. Uncle Wang, the 70-year-old homeowner, still had lingering fears about the situation.
这一次除去到现在，我就没有压力好大。
没关系，我们今天清理完了之后，压力就不大了。主要是说，因为
The main thing is that because he's always scared and he has no ability to clean, and plus he has serious diabetes, and secondly, he really doesn't know how to clean up.
如何来整理？这个电线要小心哦。
He suffers from multiple chronic diseases. After taking care of his sick mother, he ran out of the savings. After his mother passed away, he lived in a leaky old house. He could only put on the tin on the roof.
长期漏水，然后导致他屋顶都塌下来了。
要注意安全。
好，
要注意安全。
Volunteers worked together to move the sofa and debris out of the narrow alley. After sweeping for the several hours, the mission has complete. In the future, Tzu Chi will always be there for him.
Tolio Tzu Chi Hospital Superintendent Dr. Chen Ruiteng led the medical team to pass on correct health concepts in different communities. This time, they went to Zhendong Borough in Yunlin to teach the elders on how to protect and strengthen their bones.
注册病院咱这个干院长干院长亲亲来咱订单里一月所顾来干讲水顾咱身体啦
Residents are encouraged to attend a seminar on healthcare via broadcast. This is Zhendong Borough in Yunlin County. A seminar is being held at the nearby Douliu Tzu Chi Hospital to teach the residents on the correct concept of bone preservation.
My mother also has osteoporosis, and I'm worrying about her. Superintendent Jen has provided a lot of correct concepts. I've taken some pictures on his slides using my mobile phone so that I can see what to follow when I go home.
I will take good care of myself. I want to be healthier. Superintendent Jian told me to walk with a crutch to protect my body and to stand up straight.
If the muscles and bones of our limbs are strong, then the rest of our lives will be fruitful.
Yunnan County ranks among the top 3 with the highest aging population in Taiwan. In addition to passing on knowledge, the medical team also conducts the bone density test so that the public can better understand their physical condition.
Through organizing community seminars, we can pass on correct health knowledge from the hospital to the community. We can also educate these people face to face, listen to their opinions, and communicate with each other.
Facing the super-aged society through lively sharing, these medical personnel hope to bring medical care into communities so that the elderly can lead a happy life.
In Ecuador, Tzu Chi volunteers have completed their 7th food distribution, distributing rice, cooking oil, and other supplies to 1,500 households. Take a look.
Out here in Santa Ana, volunteers have loaded supplies onto the canoes. There are 32 households living in San Gregorio community on the island in the middle of the lake, and they are desperately in need for the food supplies.
This is a community that was originally living at the bottom of the dam, but then the people were moved to the upper part of the mountains. In the wintertime, these people suffer a lot because they cannot come out. The path in and out function only during the summer month, and in the winter they cannot be mobilized.
In the winter, the community is isolated from the rest of the world, and not only because of the lack of canoes available.
These water planes don't allow the canoes to navigate easily, cutting off contact with the outside world. With no access to health care, there are people who die because of the lack of transportation.
When the volunteers arrived, the residents have already gathered by the shore. This is the first time outside care has reached the island since the pandemic began. Tzu Chi volunteers in Ecuador are undertaking their 7th food distribution. In addition to Santa Ana, they also delivered care and supplies to impoverished, disabled residents, and solitary seniors in Canoa, Puerto Viejo, and Manta communities.
Thank you, Tzu Chi, and thank you to the volunteers who came all this way.
I'm really thankful for the food you gave me. I always make sure to finish it.
Thank you also very much. I hope that I can become a volunteer too to help other people in need.
A total of 1,500 households received aid in this distribution. They received an amount of food valuing at $30 American, enough to maintain a household for a month.
In Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteer Tang Wei Lu cooked a lot during the movement control order. There was a lot of leftover cooking oil, which she then used to make soap, which is environmentally friendly and also helps to solve her oil disposing problem. Here's more.
Tzu Chi volunteers gathered at Kuala Lumpur's Seratai Mehua Recycling Education Station to make soap out of recycled cooking oil.
The cooking oil we have used, no matter how little it gets into our oceans through the drainage system, is pollution to the ocean. If our action of saving it to make it into soap, the oil becomes something useful instead of harmful.
We want to give these to our Chinese care recipients because we hope to educate that cooking oil can be recycled too. When using these recycled oil soap, they can help to protect the planet.
After 2 days of drying the handmade soap, volunteers cut it and package it up along with a Jingsi aphorism.
11 OK 你拿这个这个比较容易
Volunteers produced over 400 handmade soaps and gathered it with Lunar New Year gift items to give to the Chinese care recipients in the Kuala Lumpur and Selangor region.
给你的祝福，祝福你平平安安、健健康康。手工肥皂来的，这个肥皂不是要油啊，我以为要油。
用油对，回收油做的。可是你不要来冲凉，你只是用来洗
Along with spreading joy and happiness, the volunteer doesn't forget to spread Tzu Chi's vegetarian message.
也是很高兴，也是很 happy 这样咯，这样。
有很期待这样的一些佳节礼品。
得到你们会给我们的欢喜。
如果去打包饭吃的时候。
If you purchase takeout food, try to pick vegetarian ones. This way, it's healthier for your body.
No matter if it's keeping to a vegetarian diet or making soap out of recycled cooking oil, all are ways to protect the planet, as we can all live responsibly with sustainability.
In New Zealand, the Tzu Chi Veggie Garden has recently completed a major renovation. The secret of the healthy growing plants is in the kitchen waste compost made by volunteer Lu Fangqing. Take a look.
这是什么
？celery。
celery 就是芹菜。我刚才以为，可是我就觉得不行。
Because the children are learning Chinese, they want to see our Tzu Chi Veggie Garden. This can also let them learn what vegetables are called in Chinese at the same time.
After replanting the space of Tzu Chi Veggie Garden, the plants have become denser and more healthy. But there is actually a secret behind.
Like eggshell, it's very good and high in calcium. It's very helpful for your plants if added to the soil. After adding it to the whole soil surface, just cover the mixture and leave it alone for about 2 to 3 days. Remember, it must be totally sealed.
Turning kitchen waste into fertilizer, Lu Fanqing generously shared his long-term research results with others.
Just like what the teacher said, return the kitchen waste to the earth. We take it from the earth and then return it back.
For the original juice left behind, if you don't dilute it, it can be used for weeding. This is another unexpected harvest for me today.
I discovered this by myself. This is such a very good thing. I think I should share this with more people. That's why I have this idea to hold a demonstration of Tzu Chi Veggie Garden.
Take from the earth and return back to the earth. As long as one can be more mindful in daily life, kitchen waste can also be turned into gold.
At Tainan's Wushantou Dam, due to a lack of water storage, the Zhengwen Reservoir was built at the upstream. With the water from the 2 dams, they are able to provide water to 74,000 hectares of land at the Jiayi Tainan Plain. But as climate change speeds up, water reservoirs often lack water. How to save water has become the largest problem for local units. Follow a report as we learn more.
The release of water at the reservoir is quite impressive, but now most floodways have become dry. Although the Southern Region Water Resource Office have planned ahead, but the water levels are still at a cold red.
We also asked the IACNA to start around July 16, 2020, initiating the second-term irrigation process and management.
According to weather reports, Zhengwen Reservoir and Wushantou Dam received 2,937 millimeters of rain a year, but in 2020, the numbers decreased to 1,871 millimeters, 36% less than previous years. Compared to a similar time in the past year, it is less than 50%.
From 2020, June to December, compared to different years but same terms in the past, the total rainfall this year is about 48%, less than 50%.
In order to solve this issue, the Southern Region Water Resource Office started from an agricultural approach.
We can see that the agricultural use of water takes up 79% of total water use.
At first, Wushantou Dam had little water storage, thus Zhengwen Reservoir was built at its upstream. The two combined provided water to Jiayi Tainan Plain. From the graphs, we can see that the Jiayi Tainan Plain irrigation area is about 74,177 hectares, using up most of the water locally. Therefore, a method called rotational irrigation is used to save water.
In the past, we sent out our water bills to the farmers asking them when they need water. Then staff members will maintain the usage, reminding farmers that it's their turn to irrigate their farmland.
Traditional rotation irrigation uses manual labor to lift up the water gates, allowing water to flow into the farmland, and once the water levels are satisfied, the gates are shut, making sure that each farm gets a fair share.
Once the reservoir releases water to our streams, it goes down to different streams, into the middle and small streams. Small streams will then be provided locally for rotational irrigation.
But at the Jiayi Tainan Plain, one staff member of the Southern Region Water Resource Office has to manage 50 hectares of irrigation. Not only is the efficiency limited, On typhoon days, senior workers have to work in danger.
The average age of our staff members as of now is about 70 years old and above.
Maybe because there are less young people in the field of agriculture, which means that the average age in this field is high. So when seniors work, their safety and risk on duty are actually higher.
In 2017, the irrigation plan started to kick off at the Jiaitainan Plain. Within 74,000 hectares of land, 110 hectares are machine-controlled, changing up the traditional methods.
If I set for the water gate to go up, then I can control the gates by pressing the button.
Using a phone, entering the desired height, the water gate stops at a specific point. Besides this, the machinery also provides a water usage monitoring system, allowing the user to adjust the water gate height at times.
The devices cannot automatically raise and lower the gates, but our staff members can use the data and make several adjustments if needed. This means that human intervention is required.
Now, manual labor is minimized as one may control the water usage at the comfort of their homes. Though IoT become normalized, the system behind this is actually developed and improved by TSMC.
The Irrigation Association discussed with farmers about the water gate opening speeds. The farmers wanted 8 cm per minute, so we designed a water gate system that can open up to 10 cm per minute.
Early designs include a solar panel along with a whole computer, using up space while being non-efficient with electricity. After TSMC joined, heavy equipment was no longer needed as a small solar panel holds up the entire system. However, the key to success is the small IC chip.
On the controlling end, we use a microcontroller developed by MTK, and it's programmed with communication capabilities. When there are no solar power present, it can actually hold up to 7 days, 168 hours without any issues.
After the efficiency improved, in the next several years, the Southern Region Water Resource Office hoped to save 4.5% of water each year.
With the system, we may continue to improve its efficiency. Upon every hectare, the first term saves up to 390 metric tons of water per hectare. The second term improved up to 720 metric tons per hectare.
Facing climate change, the agricultural industry experiences several difficulties as hydraulic engineering offices, along with farmers, worked hard in hopes of continuing the use of water.
Taiwan has a population of more than 23 million people, but regular livestock breeding exceeds 100 million animals. Once a livestock farm is infected with a highly infectious disease, the entire animal population must be culled. In the past 6 years, more than 8 million poultry have been culled because of avian flu alone. These animal carcasses must be disposed of within a short period of time, otherwise environmental sanitation is a concern. At the moment, there are only 9 chemical plants in Taiwan that can legally destroy animal carcasses, as many wonder, where do the rest of these animal carcasses go? Follow a report as you learn more.
Outside this farm, we see a pig farmer carrying a dead pig on a scooter with the pig's carcass scraping the ground. From Luzhou Township to Puzhu City, there's a person tailing him to see if he was dumping the pig.
That's too much. You can't carry it over here and leave it. It's about 2 or 3 years.
For epidemic prevention and sanitation, we notified the Jiayi Livestock Disease Control Center.
Now there are dead pigs and chickens here. They should be kept on the farms. Yes, it is wrong to be left here, as this will pollute the environment.
This is an animal waste truck which specifically carries dead poultry and livestock to the chemical plant for destruction. There are tens of thousands of animal husbandry farms in Taiwan, but there are less than 10 chemical plants that legally handle animal carcasses. In 5 counties and cities, the number of chemical processing plants is small. The ratio of animal husbandry farms makes their number far from sufficient.
It's unavoidable that these animal waste chemical processing plants will lead to air pollution problems as the government decides their allocation.
Many livestock farms are facing problems such as wanting to spend money to sign a contract with these animal waste chemical processing centers but are unable to do so. Therefore, the disposal of animal carcasses and the disposal of manure and urine are both big issues for the future of domestic animal husbandry.
During the process of transporting dead animals, the transportation itself is a carbon-emitting process. In addition, pathogenic bacteria spreads around. If A sends animals to B, and after receiving it, it goes to C location, a series of pathogenic bacterial contamination will also accompany pollution.
According to statistics from the Council of Agriculture, as of the end of 2020, Taiwan raised 5.5 million pigs, 150,000 cattle, 130,000 goat, 8.36 million ducks, 1.09 million geese, and more than 99 million chickens. The population of Taiwan is only more than 23 million. These 6 types of livestock alone account for more than 100 million animals.
According to regulations, animal husbandry farms must sign a contract with the legal animal waste chemical plant to deal with dead animals. If not, there must be legal chemical animal waste processing equipment on the farm.
Sometimes a sick pig isn't found for a day or two after it dies. It then becomes swollen, and these animal waste chemical processing plants won't accept it.
If these animal waste chemical processing plants won't accept these dead animal carcasses, then where do they go? Zhanghua's Dongluo River is one such location.
The animal husbandry industry threw dead pigs and ducks into the river, which flow to the middle and lower reaches of our Dongluo River.
Slowly, the diseases amongst pigs seems to increase.
Once a highly pathogenic infectious disease is detected on a livestock farm, tens of thousands of livestock will have to be buried.
Sick pigs and dead chickens should not be transported casually, as this process will cause even more pollution.
Not wanting vehicles from animal waste chemical plants to bring an infection to their farms, more and more livestock farmers are setting up chemical processing equipment on their farms.
Decomposed at a temperature of almost 50 degrees, the meat will gradually decompose.
It becomes very small, like meat floss. For example, if we put in 100 kilograms, it could become less than 1 kilogram, and we will put it on top of chicken manure.
Many of the pigs and chickens that died of disease are composted. Because of the animal nature of this compost, the odor is much stronger than that of general compost.
Natural disasters can lead animal carcasses to explode overnight. 2009, Typhoon Morakot drowned more than 1 million pigs and chickens.
They were restricted in their pens as these souls all wanted to breathe, and a whole row of them had their heads up when they died.
The carcasses of poultry and livestock decay when infected with pathogenic bacteria, led these animal waste processing plants to operate continuously for a few days.
At that time, the chemical plants began scheduling this disposal work for farms, with some animals needing to be buried.
When these animals were born, many were worried about them getting sick, but now when they pass away, many are afraid they will pollute the environment. Raising poultry and livestock can really be an exhausting way to simply satisfy the appetites of human beings.
In Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers sent books to the Penang Chinese Girls Private High School and share their experiences with the teachers and students. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you and goodbye.